Salute, it's Paul from dronesgear.com, and I'm really excited to show you a drone that is ready to compete with the giant that is DJI. This is quite a lot, including a 4K camera, 3-axis gimbal, GPS, long battery life, and a lot more features. All of this under $400. You can check the current price down in the description. The drone comes in this white box, and at the first glance it looks a lot like a white DJI Mavic. It does come in that already classical folding frame factor. The arms snap nicely at the end, so I'm pretty sure they won't bend backward easily. We'll be back to the drone in a second. Let's just go over what else you can find in this box. There's this accessory box that has some spare propellers, a screwdriver, and what looks like a bunch of cables to connect the phone to the transmitter. Luckily, they have everything from micro USB to USB-C and even the lighting cable. This here is the balance charger that seems to come with a nice protection for the pins at the end. In the other box we can find the wire transmitter that comes with these 2.4 GHz antennas that are real, unlike many of the cheap drones from China these days. Just always keep in mind that for better signal you should hold them perpendicular to the direction that the drone flies at, so the signal transmits laterally. It does have a plasticky feeling to it, but the pattern on it helps with how grippy the controller is. These two sticks are nice, but definitely not hobby grade. However, there is one thing that I like more than DJI, and that is the phone holder that's quite solid and very easy to use. There is a button for changing between normal and sport mode. We'll see how fast it can go in a few moments. It comes with simple controls, like a launch and land button, a return to home button, a video and photo button in a camera angle wheel. This is the folded drone for you guys, which comes with brushless motors that are much longer lasting and powerful than brushed ones, and the propellers are foldable just like on DJI drones. On the side, there's a micro SD card slot for capturing footage and a micro USB slot if you want to connect it to the PC. After you take the camera protection off, quite easily I could say, the big reveal is a 3-axis gimbal and 4K camera that promises a lot, but we'll see how well it does in real life. The drone doesn't have any additional proximity sensors, which for some of you might be important, while for others they were just a gimmick anyway. Please tell me down in the comments if you would have paid extra for a bunch of sensors. The battery is a proprietary one, and Hobson says it should last in the air for 20 minutes. And they better be right, as I only have one. But because it's not a smart battery, you'll probably be able to buy another one, unlike the huge prices DJI has. The camera protection is also pretty easy to add on. The size and form is almost the same as the Mavic, if that's a good reference for you. Let's take it outside and see what it can actually do in real life. At a first glance, there don't seem to be that many video and photo settings. You can actually change ISO and exposure, which is nice, but nothing else that can be useful. The recording options are 1080p, 2.7K and 4K. I usually record in 2.7K as it's in the sweet spot between having a huge file that's hard to edit and great image quality. I can say that if you only record in 1080p every time, this drone might be an overkill for you. There are a few settings, including the ones for the map, joystick and so on, but nothing really game-changing or that I cared much about. However, I would recommend that you do the compass calibration before your first flight. This is simply done by rotating the drone clockwise a few times. I have noticed a very weird thing in the beginning, as when doing the GPS accuracy test, it detected my phone to be 47 meters from my aircraft, which obviously wasn't true. At the first takeoff I had 15 satellites connected and I'm hovering about 2 meters from the ground. You can see some slight drifting because it only has GPS stability, but the drone is actually pretty stable and the 3-axis gimbal does an amazing job in my opinion. The wind was super powerful and it was also freezing cold, so this is definitely a great stress test. Here I started shooting 2.7K resolution and went with it for a few hundred meters away without any problems. By the way, the tested range for this drone is somewhere around 1 km maximum. The gimbal does a stellar job stabilizing the video, as you can see. I would say it's definitely at DJI level. The only difference is that the GPS positioning isn't that perfect and it tends to move a bit in the air, as you can see in this video too. The colors look quite spot on in my opinion. I have pressed the return to home button 2 times that day and it worked just fine. I managed to land about 2 meters away from the launching point, which is not that bad considering it has no downward facing sensors. When it comes to speed, in sport mode, this drone can go up to 32 km per hour or 20 miles per hour, which is about as much as most people need. The battery was gone before I could test the other functions as well. However, it did last for almost 90 minutes, which is quite close to what it was advertised initially. So I took it for another few tests during a winter rally in Romania, in the hopes I would catch some interesting drifting footage as well as compare it with the DJI Spark. However, the comparison with the DJI Spark is going to be in a separate video that I will release soon. So don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell notification icon to see that. The drone has a few flight modes, including waypoints, orbit and follow mode. For some reason I decided I should try orbit mode first. It seems you can set the transmitter location as the point of interest, or you can also set the aircraft's current location as the point of interest, which are both nice features to have. You'll need to hover the drone at a certain maximum distance and altitude for it to work. You can also change the camera angle while it's doing the automatic flight rotation. Next, let's test the follow me mode. I really expected this to be just following the transmitter or the phone GPS location, but it actually comes with the ability to select a box around the preferred object to follow. It does seem you can't be that far away though. However, I was stunned that the follow mode worked absolutely fantastic in my opinion and had me in frame all times. More than that, the drone actually came with a hidden line fly mode, which is my most used flight mode in most drones. What this basically does is make the drone fly in a certain direction while you can rotate it and play with the camera angle so you can capture more cinematic shots. Unfortunately, the distance limit is 100 meters, but that's enough for most shots anyway. Waypoint flight is a feature I almost never use, because I like to have total control over my drone. However, it seems you can do it if you're interested in this flight mode, and it works just as expected. But keep in mind that it will do sudden movements when reaching one of the waypoints and changing to the other. Again, the landing return to home was about 1 meter away from the launching spot. So far, this drone seems pretty capable in my opinion. However, I have experienced a few not so cool moments with it too. One time I only could get like 12 satellites connected and the drone started doing some toilet bowl movement. And that's not cool at all when your landing spot is between a couple of trees. Besides that, I forgot to charge the controller and I found out it doesn't warn you with a sound when it gets low battery. So I found myself with the controller disconnected from the drone because it didn't have any more battery. Luckily enough, the Hubsan Zeno can stay in the air for quite some time, so I had time to charge the controller quickly in the car and reconnected the drone and landed successfully. Overall, the Hubsan Zeno seems like quite a capable drone for this price. It has a lot of potential to be one of the best cheap 4K drones out there. You can check the price in the description right now or wait for my comparison with the DJI Spark in a few days. Also subscribe because you will want to see my review of the new drone from Xiaomi called the Fimi A3, which is quite a capable drone that's even under the price of the Hubsan Zeno. Thanks for watching and see you later, alligator.